This is TWiT.
I have a great show planned for you, starting off with an interview with someone who may be familiar to you. Yes, it is Jennifer Pattison, Tuohy of The Verge, who is here to talk about an excellent review of a new smart home device from Amazon. Welcome back to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mikah. Always a pleasure to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you on. So let's kick things off. Can you tell us a little bit about the Echo Hub? What is it? How does it differ from Amazon's current Echo lineup? And what can people expect from this unique device?
Of course, yes. So the Echo Hub is the newest gadget from Amazon in its Alexa speaker lineup, which includes speakers and smart displays. But this is kind of a new category for them. It is a smart home controller. It's actually billed as the Amazon Echo Hub Smart Controller. And the idea behind it is to control your smart home. And you may say, well, I already do that using voice. And you can still do that with the Echo Hub. It has a speaker in it, microphones, far-field microphones, just like all of the other Echo devices. But the big difference here is a smart home dashboard. And this is something you and I have talked about in the past, I think, Mikah, being able to control your smart home with a physical control other than just relying on using your phone or voice control, because there are always times that you need that. And one of the key ones, and one of the reasons I really like this device, is when you have other people in your home. This is like a wall panel that you can go and just tap a button to turn off the lights. It can also act as a control panel for your Ring alarm system. So instead of having a keypad on the wall, you can just pull up the keypad for the Ring alarm system on the controller. And it's a very unique interface for an Echo Show. You do not see the smart home dashboard on any of the other Echo Show devices. It's just for this Echo Hub. It is $180, so it's a bit more expensive than the other Echo Show devices that it sort of sits with. So the Echo Show 8 is closest design-wise. They look quite similar. Echo Show is only $150. So you're spending about $30 more for this sort of unique interface. And it is unique. There is nothing like this for the DIY smart home. If you have a high-end system, sorry, my thumb, I tried not to do the thumbs up, but I just moved my hand.
It just happens sometimes.
Sorry. For some this is sort of a product that you see in higher end systems for smart home, like Savant or Control 4 or Crestron. This control panel on your wall where you go and tap and turn lights on and off, play music, lock doors, adjust your thermostat. But those types of devices with a system like that are thousands of dollars. This at $180 is actually quite competitively priced. So it's an interesting gadget. It's a brand new entry for Amazon. And in the past, their Echo Show displays have had some touch control interfaces for your smart home devices, but they've not been great experiences. They're a bit laggy, kind of hard to find. Not really what those devices are designed for. Those devices are really designed voice first. This is very much designed for touch first.
Nice. Now, one of my first reactions upon, hearing about this, I remember when Amazon announced it, and I thought, okay, but why can't they just update my Echo Show that I have with this functionality? Why can't they just add this UI to the device that I already have? And then I read your review, and that kind of explained to me that this is a little bit different. It's got some hardware packed in it that makes it unique to many of the Echo devices that are already out there. So can you tell us about why this is the true smart home hub in comparison to kind of what's been offered for the most part before?
Yes, so this is called the Echo Hub, whereas all of the other Echo devices are, Echo Speaker or an Echo Show. And the reason this is called a hub is because it has smart home radios built in. So it has a Zigbee radio, it has Thread, it also has Amazon Sidewalk, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. Now, those last three are in all of the other Echo devices, but the Zigbee radio and the Thread radio are quite unique. There are only 3 other devices in the Echo lineup that have those. One of those is the most recent Echo Show 8, the 3rd generation. And then the Echo 4th generation speaker also has those radios. It also doubles as a Matter controller. but so do all of the Echo devices. So it is comparable hardware-wise to the Echo Show 8, third generation. But because of the UI, you're getting that extra smart home element on this versus the Echo Show 8. But you are very right. They could, I think, bring this smart home dashboard to the Show line, and that may happen. This is a first iteration of this product. If it's successful and people are interested in it, I could definitely see Amazon bringing this interface to other devices. However, it does have two other kind of key features that you don't find on any of the Show devices, or you do find on the Show devices, which is the main one here is there is no camera in the Echo Hub. That means that you can't do Alexa video calling. You can't use it as a security camera, which you can do with other Echo Shows. But for some people, no camera is a good thing. A lot of people don't want cameras in their homes at all. And if that's someone like you may not have wanted an Echo Show for that reason. And this makes that a bit more appealing because it does everything that you might want an Echo Show device to do, but without a camera. And then the other feature that's different here between most of the Echo Shows and the Echo Hub is there are no ads. And I don't know that that's going to stay that way. But if you're familiar with Echo Show devices, kind of a feature of them is they have a rotating home screen, which shows different content. And you can customize this so it can show your photos, it can show your most recently watched videos, it can show suggestions for things you might want to do with Alexa, routines. It can tell you about your Amazon deliveries. And this sort of home screen will just constantly rotate, which can be helpful, but also when it pops up random stuff that you're not interested in, it's also kind of annoying. And a lot of people I know really don't find that a useful benefit of the devices, and it's one reason that people don't like them. So this doesn't have that. The way the Echo Hub works is when it's not showing your smart home dashboard, it shows just a nice picture, which you can customize. You can also have it show your own photos, and it has some kind of cool kind of video effects. So it's kind of a nice sort of aesthetic look in your home. It's not just a blank screen, and it's not showing ads for Amazon services. And it's a clock too. So, who doesn't need more clocks?
Right. See, I would pay.
But when you get close, one thing though, just to finish, when you get close to it without the camera, instead of the camera, it has a little PIR sensor, passive infrared sensor. So as you approach, the screen automatically turns to a dashboard, which is not something any of the Echo Shows do. With an Echo Show, you'd have to tap to then get to whatever smart home control you want. But with this, it shows you your dashboard as you approach so that you can just go straight in and hit that light button or music button and have whatever action you wanted to start working.
Yeah, I would pay extra for an Echo Show that didn't do that annoying thing that it does, where, I feel like I've told it 100 times I don't care about sports, and it still ends up somehow
and it comes back
suggesting stuff to me. The only thing that I like out of that is when the jokes pop up and I just try to guess what the answer is going to be. And so I don't actually ask it, but I'll read it. Like the one this morning was, how does a pig wash its hands or clean its hands, I think was what it said. And my guess, I didn't actually ask it, but my guess has to be hogwash. Come on, hogwash. So who knows if that's the actual answer, but that felt right. So I have fun doing that. That's the puzzle that I have in the morning. But outside of that, I just wish it would show me the time and, maybe some photos, because I have photos in there too, but they hardly ever show up because it cuts to something where it's going, which is better, chocolate on graham crackers or peanut butter fudge? And I'm like, I don't, stop. So this,
I know,
that's pretty
and
cool.
I made the mistake of asking once when the next Kansas City Chiefs game was, because I wanted to see Taylor Swift, and then non-stop I get alerts for Kansas City Chiefs stuff. I'm like, I don't care that the right end tight receiver has torn his hamstring.
Amen. Neither do I. So that answers the question kind of about the comparison between the two. But one thing that stuck out to me is Well, actually, no. Let's back up because I do want to hear just in general about your experience with the Echo Hub and actually using it.
Yeah.
How did it compare to using this standard Echo Show? And then to take that even further, you talk about how it's an extension of the Alexa app. You can tell us about that as well.
Yeah. So one thing I didn't mention that is unique almost to the Hub is that you can wall mount it. The Echo Show 15 can also be wall mounted. So there is another one in the category, but this one, by putting it on the wall, you can get more. It makes it a really useful controller to sort of have by your front door or by an entryway. You can put it on a stand too. The stand costs extra, and so I found it useful. I have tried it for a week, and I put it by my front door, and then I also have had it on my desk. And in both places, I found it really handy for really quickly changing something in my setup, like turning the lights off in my office when I'm going on a Zoom call, or activating the alarm system when I'm walking out the door. So yeah, it just that extra friction that most other smart home controls provide or bring up, such as having to swipe to get to something. So if you use your phone, you have to unlock it first and open the app, or use your voice. You normally have to wait a beat. This device, what impressed me about it was Amazon really put some thought here into how quickly it does what you want. And that just makes it, for me, a really useful device. I also like, and I didn't get to test this, but it's USB-C powered, whereas all the other Echo devices use a barrel plug. Mm-hmm. And because of the USB-C option, you can connect it with power over Ethernet, which makes wall mounting a bit more, an easier, more attractive proposition, although mounting anything on the wall is never easy. But if you're going to have this in your home, for a long period of time, I would definitely consider putting it on the wall. I mean, ideally, would like to have one downstairs, like by my front door, and one at my desk. That would sort of be how I could see myself using this. And something that's really interesting that I didn't get into a lot into my review, but this is a Matter device. So as Matter expands and matures, and you can work with all the other smart home platforms and more devices, I could potentially see this if you are in the Apple ecosystem or use a different smart home platform, and you can get all your devices into Amazon. You could just use this as a wall controller and not use Alexa in any other way. So it could be an easy way to add smart home control to whatever platform you use to run your smart home.
And so I guess to kind of wrap this up, when it came to using this, how much easier was it for people who are not like you and like me in terms of the everyday user who kind of gets annoyed by having to speak out loud to get lights to turn on and off, or figure out how to pull it up on their phone? Did it make a real difference for those folks who are not the enthusiasts when it comes to a smart home?
Yeah. So again, I've only had it for a week, so I haven't been able to put it to a lot of those tests, but I did get my husband to play with it, and my husband does not like smart home stuff. And he was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
So I could see, and especially, if you put it on the wall or put it on the kitchen counter, it's an easy device to interact with. It's also easy to set up. It's one of the great things about it that, again, you can't do with the Echo Show so much. It is super customizable. So you can have exactly what buttons you want on that front screen. So you can make it easy for people in your home to use and put the things that they're going to probably want to do on that panel, rather than, having all your weird and wonderful routines front and center. So I think that makes it's a more of a communal device for people to interact with. And, if you have a house sitter or a pet sitter, it would be easy for them to use to disarm an alarm system. It's very similar to an alarm system panel. It's actually, I would say, a lot of people are probably comparing this to the idea of, saying, put in an iPad on your wall, which I know a lot of people who use Apple Home have tried to try and replicate this kind of functionality. And the big difference, I would say, here is this is actually a little slow. It's not a tablet. It doesn't have a battery in it. It is not a snappy processor. It is not. There's my thumb again. It is, but then if it was an iPad on your wall, it would cost more than $180. But for just pressing a button to turn the lights on and off, and it has one of the other kind of neat features that they've done is it's not just your devices on the screen. When you have, say, your living room set up, it will have a button for all lights on, all lights off. So you just tap that. You don't have to go through and tap each one or create a group. And that tap is fast. But what is slow is when you sort of have to swipe or go into different menus. Then it starts to feel like what it is, which is basically an Echo Show. It doesn't have any more power behind it, as far as I can tell. But it is, it definitely has a few areas where it could be improved, but for a sort of first attempt and for what it's set out to do, which is to be a communal, easy to use touchscreen interface for your smart home, they've definitely come out with a good product.
Nice. I have a feeling that those short-term renters and Airbnb people will probably be on board with this as well. Now, you mentioned the price. It's about $180. But if our listeners are interested in purchasing this, is it available now? Will it be available soon?
Yeah. So it was released on Wednesday, so yesterday. So yeah, you can buy it on Amazon, Best Buy, and I think it's also in there are a few other places. But yeah, you can definitely get it. And like I said, you will need to buy the stand separately if you don't want to wall mount it. That's like $30. And if you don't like the white, it only comes in white. They do have little snap frames that you can put on it. So you can have different colors, and Amazon says one of them is paintable, so you can kind of have it fit in with your decor, which goes to conversations we've had in the past about how smart home tech doesn't always look great in your home. And so they've put a bit of thought into that. And when you're not using it, it's a digital photo frame if you like. So it's got a lot going for it.
Nice. Well,
except for it's from Amazon.
Yeah.
So I know some people.
That's its own thing, right? Some people are like, okay, well, that's enough for me to not be into it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, I should mention that pretty soon we will be seeing you regularly. I'm looking forward to that. Jennifer has agreed to be one of the guest co-hosts for Tech News Weekly. So all of you listening and watching out there will get more from Jennifer. But of course, now is the opportunity for you to let folks know where they can go online to stay up with what you're doing.
Yeah, so you can find all of my work at theverge.com. And I also occasionally do some video on the socials at TikTok and Instagram. I'm Smart Home Mama on those platforms. And then also on X, JP2E. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. And yes, we will be seeing you soon. Yeah, my first show is going to be on my birthday. Oh, well, all right. Write that down. We got to bring party hats. Thank you so much. Great. Thanks so much, Mikah. Bye. Oh, bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching this little chunk of Tech News Weekly. If you'd like to get the full episode, well, head over to twit.tv/TNW. There you'll find buttons you can click or tap to subscribe to the entire show in audio and video formats. Or just look in the description. We've got links down there as well.